All right, welcome everyone. Welcome back to 45 Degree Sailing. My name's Nick, and we are here without our 45D live thingy. I was almost already. There we go. 45D weekly live, and this week is our weekly charter tips for Tuesday night, 9 p.m. here in Croatia. So welcome, thank you for joining. Weekly charter tips, and that's the wrong one. I've brought up the wrong one. I've 100% brought up the wrong PDF. This is about check-in and check-out. Pro tips for check-in and check-out. Who have we got? Vincent DeLu, welcome from Spain. Looking forward to hearing once again your insights provided valuable last year. Mate, you are most welcome. I flew back from Catalonia today. I flew back from Barcelona. I was in Barcelona at midday today, sailing there for the last 2 days. So while I just go and fix my problem, we'll say hello to everyone in the comments, but basically I just downloaded the wrong PDF to reference. I was sure I've done something wrong. Let's see which one I did wrong. That's definitely that one. Preview. Good to be back though. That's the one there. Okay, I will now get that one up so that I am referencing the right material. And remember, if you're first time joining here, this is charter check-in, check-out. There we go, replace that one. This is based on an email series that the team has written on charter information. So if you're charting in Croatia and you want to know the bits and pieces like we did when last time we did, when the charter price is not the charter price, because that is a very real thing. When you think you're getting the right price, but you're not actually. So here we go. I'm just opening this one now. Here I was thinking I was so ready, and I got up, got myself some water, all of that. Charter, check in, check out. Open with preview. But good to see people signing on. Thank you very much. Make that a bit wider. Zoom that in. There we go. And it looks like we've got a good amount of people online. We've got 10 or so online. That's great. Who else have we got here? Mahin is in here with some stars, double stars. Good evening, David Llewellyn's watching. Graham's here. Hello, hello. Picnic? Picnic? Hi from Hungary. Carolee, nice to have you here. Lovely. How was the Moody? Oh, dude, the Moody was moody. And let's see if that's working. That's almost right. Slightly wrong with that bit of edge that's going on. Just edit that out now. Oh, I see what's happening here. Unlock overlay. There we go. That's better. No, the Moody was very, very cool. Okay, so look, welcome. Thank you for being here, everyone. Mike M is here. Hi, nice to see you. We're going to run the cutscene, then get straight into this. It seems my output sound is also on my headphones. There we go. That's not going to help us having that music there. Here I was thinking I was so organized. I did just get off the plane though, so I forgive myself. There we go. That's much better. Okay. So Diego's here. Hi, Diego. What up, man? I'm loving your little photo there with, that looks like you on something like, this is very hard to see from this angle, single helm. I'm going to say 38 feet, center cockpit, ocean going, traditional looking hull in your photo, but yeah, tell us what that is. Okay. And I need to destroy that output audio because that's what drives me mental. Let's double check that the voice is coming through all good. And if you can tell me if I'm too loud or cracking out as well, because this is all me blabbing on, so we want to make sure at least that the audio is good. Okay. Weekly charter prep series number 4. Let's make check-in and check-out less stressful. That's what this is all about. It's making that less stressful. So these are our pro tips for charter check-in and check-out. 44 freers. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. So as I said, if you haven't jumped on this email series before, send an email, and if Mahina or someone could add this in to team@45degreessailing.com and say, hey, we want to get the charter checklists, and you'll get on that series and we'll backdate you the series as well. Vincent said the sound is good. Thank you very much. Okay. Basically, this is effectively one of the most important topics, okay? Charterers in Croatia. This is the check-in and check-out. Now, if you've chartered yachts before, then you will know, or in other countries, you'll know that this process is, well, it's really important for one, because it's the start, okay? This is how you set the tone for the week as to how the charter company is going to treat you as well. Like this is a big thing, is when you show up and you introduce yourself to a charter company, you're setting, as I said, setting the tone. That does work for another sentence. You're setting the tone as to what type of skipper you are and how you're going to treat their boat and how competent you're going to be for the rest of the week, okay? And how much confidence they should have in you because of that. And you do that from, I mean, you start doing that from the emails you send and all this sort of stuff when you make your booking, from the things you request, but you do that from the moment you step into the office and say, hey, I'm Nick, I'm chartering Mila Feliz this week. And they'll say, cool, come in and sit down and do this, all right? So you're going to set that tone. So you want to make sure that you've got all of your ducks in a row, you know what's going on, you know about your boat, and you know what questions to ask and what not to miss. Because if they're doing the check-in process and you go, hey, where's the bow thruster breaker switch? Because if that cuts out, I want to know how to change that. So just make sure, you know, that these are things that are going to, the technician's going to go, oh yeah. And sometimes the technician's going to go, I don't know. Which is another red flag. Okay, so look, prior to check-in, this is also really important. Can I view this without pages? I'm sure I can. View without pages. What? No, continuous scroll. There's a way to do this. Continuous scroll, that's fine, but I didn't think I had to have a bar. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So prior to check-in, crew list submissions. This is a big thing. In Croatia and a lot of places, but in Croatia especially, you need to submit. My screen just, you just plugged that in? Yeah. The power spiked and my screen went off. That's weird. Okay, it's back. So your crew list submission. This is your details, passport details, country of residence, shoe size. There's a hilarious thing on the crew list details on Norsis that gives you shoe size. That's because charter companies are sometimes renting flippers. It's a very random thing. You don't have to fill it in. But you need to fill in this for yourself. A skipper needs to put their license number down along with their VHF license number. So all of this goes on the crew list. You're labeled as a skipper. And then all the crew must be on this list. You pay a tourist tax for being on the boats because it's an overnight accommodation, so it's listed under the tourist tax. You pay €1.33 per person per night. That all happens. So you want to make sure that that's submitted long before you arrive, because then the charter company is going to have the invoice ready for that tourist tax, and it's all going to go a bit faster and smoother. Cash. This is very good. While most payments can be made prior to check-in, or by bank transfer, or by credit card, all this sort of thing, tourist taxes and some other payments need to be made in cash at check-in. So ensure you have cash on hand at these. Now, we as agency, we work really hard. That's not right. We as an agency Anna works really hard on making sure everyone knows this is what will need to be paid, exactly where it all lines up. So she works really hard to make sure that okay, you're going to need 656 euros of cash because that is yours. With this particular charter company, that's your deposit insurance plus your tourist taxes. So then to show up with this cash, and you don't have to do the 350-meter walk to the ATM if you're at Marina Baltic or whatever it is. So make sure you know what cash you've got, and always have a bit of extra cash when you're going out onto the island. Charter extras. This is really important, and do this early. Make sure you're confirmed with your charter company any extras you want well prior to check-in, like weeks prior to check-in, so they can have it ready. Because some people think, no, I'll do that on the day. And if you want, say for instance, in the middle of August, a stand-up paddleboard or two, and you come in August, every boat's booked out, and every paddleboard was long booked out. And then starts the scramble from the charter company going, hey, look, we'll see if we can find you one. They call the other company next door, they call us, see if we've got any spare, but if you want them all set up and done, then order the stuff in advance. But know what extras you're going in for as well, and whether they're paid for or not. Early check-in. This also needs to be booked in advance. Along with booking in advance, it depends on your charter company whether or not they're actually going to confirm that. Now, some of the bigger charter companies, such as, who doesn't confirm? Ultra, Croatia Yachting doesn't, Croatia Yachting? It doesn't always, they're very confusing with the early check-in. But like Ultra, yeah, a lot of charter companies won't confirm. Hey, Nico's here, good evening. So a lot of them won't confirm. So you might book it and pay for it, or you might book it and they say, we're not charging you until check-in because we're not confirming it. So they also won't let you necessarily even think about booking early check-in if they've, of course, already got 3, 4, 5, 6 early check-ins on that day. So make sure that's done in advance as well.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Have you got to timing? Or is that next? Because I can't remember what I wrote.
I've got to check-in.
Time.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, check-in time's right next.
Okay, cool.
Anna's going to have things to add throughout this because she wrote the PDF. She can't remember what she wrote. Okay, so check-in, actual check-in now. So you arrive in Croatia and everyone's excited and ready to get on the Adriatic, and it's like, right, you got to get on your yacht. Now, check-in for most charters in Croatia happens on a Saturday with the exact time noted on your booking confirmation. And that exact time is usually 1700 hours, 5 p.m., which somehow seems to come as a real surprise to 90% of charterers. For some reason, no one reads the booking confirmation. And this is on the offer. This is on the offer when you first get offered the boat. It's like, right, Saturday the 15th of June, check-in, 1700. And then check out, Saturday the 7 days later, 22nd of June, check out, 0900. Like it even says there, must return to the marina at 5 p.m. on Friday. It's all written there, but when people are looking at offers and looking at booking confirmations, they're excited about boats and they will click on the pictures. Fair enough, okay? But the standard booking time is 1700. Now, please, with your experience, tell me, when do you usually get check-in? If you don't, this is not when you book early check-in, we'll cover that next. If you're watching, tell me, what time do you usually get check-in and who was it with? When was it? What time of year? Throw that down. It's like, right, Castella, June, we got on the boat at 3. Just throw that out because I'd be really interested from everyone what their last check-in was. So if you have that check-in time on your thing, but you come in May, all right, and it's a little less busy, it's likely you might get on the boat at 3. It might already be clean. Cool, okay. If you come in August and they've got 10 early check-ins booked before you're not going to get on that boat before 4, probably 5, okay? And Anna can ask a question.
What time do I have to be at the marina?
Oh my, I'm coming. I'm getting there. Oh, you told me not to read the PDF. Gosh. So that's your check-in time. Now, that is actually the time you'll be likely to get on the boat. Now, There is also time you're going to need to spend doing paperwork in the office, picking up your charter pack and your boat papers and finalizing any of those payments, giving over your license and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so if you have a standard 5 o'clock check-in, if it was me, this is how I would do it. If I had a standard 5 o'clock check-in, I'm not expecting early check-in and I know it's going to be busy. I, as the skipper, not necessarily all of the crew, but I, as the skipper, will be at the marina probably by 2. Okay, I'll be there at 2 o'clock so I can get into the office. Can we please put a mic on Anna? Do you want to buzz in on this?
No.
I'm not going to repeat anything else you say. Do you want a microphone?
I'm having a coffee and I'm eating chocolate biscuits.
I don't know if anyone heard that. She's having a coffee and eating chocolate biscuits. So, Nico, I hear you. Hi, Anna. I hear you, and we're trying to put a mic on Anna. Okay. Anyway, so she's breaking my flow. She needs a mic. I would show up at 2 because I can then go to the office. Okay, I can do my paperwork with the office. Okay, if they need to cite my license, if I need to pay anything, I get that all done. I know I can't get in my boat till 5 or whatever, but I get it all done. Now, if I'm a very pleasant human being and they know I'm there, and they're like, oh, and the cleaning crew comes back to them on the phone and go, oh, we've just finished boat XXX. Which one should we do next? And they go, actually, do Nick's boat next because he wasn't a dick. Be that guy or girl or whoever. Be that person. So show up at 2 and then have your crew going off and doing the provisioning or whatever it is, but not necessarily sitting in the hot sun. And then likely you'll be able to book your technical check-in with the technician at 4 o'clock or, maybe you get lucky, it's 3:30, whatever. If you've got early check-in, so like if you book with us and you book an MK yacht, okay, we give free early check-in. That's a good deal we've got with them because we have a lot of clients with them. Okay, so free early check-in, that's great. So you expect to get on the boat at like 1 or 2, probably more like 1, but I always say 1 or 2 because everything gets busy. What are you looking for, Anna? The key. Ask your granddaughter where she put the key to your drawers. So I would then be showing up at 11. All right, 11 o'clock, do the same process. Do the paperwork, get sorted so that I get my technical check-in at 1 o'clock, whatever it is. That's the time. So just be very clear about the times you are coming to check in. So because of that, there is a 2-part check-in. Okay, and we've just been covering that, but let's just double check the PDF for a second. Okay, so office check-in. You arrive at the marina on Saturday, blah, 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 blah. Office check-in. You're going to presentation of the skipper's licenses. Cool. Give you time to complete the paperwork, the charter company make a copy. Payments, settling the outstanding payments, talked about that. Extras like Wi-Fi subs, and then you can go, additional insurance, because if you do deposit insurance, you have to do an actual insurance policy for that. All that extra crap. And signing the contract, sign the charter agreement. So say, yeah, I'm taking the boat, you can have all my money. Basically that. Once it's complete, you need to wait till your yacht's ready. That's it, okay? So that's what we're after. Good. That's the office part. I love that. Going a few comments that have come through here so I don't miss them all. No, you can't interrupt my flow like this, Anna. Ultra and Baltic is quite a hike. If you have to go back and forth the office, yes, it is. Lovro says, charter companies and the employees are generally a bit annoyed with early check-in. That is paid at the last minute. Just a pain. I mean, there shouldn't be any early check-ins paid at the last minute. They should be booked. They should be booked in advance. Yeah, but yeah. And yeah, that's annoying if your charter company's not preferring you. I got Adria Yachting before my 5 p.m. check-in at around 2, but that was 100% from you. True, I did. I did sort you out there. Yeah, Icon Anna, that's it. Nico. Okay, drop by the office. Never hurts to drop by the office, and yeah, that's the one. All right. Shannon says, can you specify the skipper licenses need, please? I'm not going to go over skipper licenses on this stream, Shane.
I've just put one up.
But Anna just put a video up on the channel that you can visit, which is about, is my license accepted? And I know there's some comments on that I need to address, but you put that up. Has it got the link in the description? And the link to the list of accepted licenses is in the description. But we'll look at doing another live stream on that at another time if people want it. Okay, Anna, did you have something you wanted to add?
I've forgotten now.
Good, good. I'm glad you've forgotten. I don't want to hear it. Okay, let's talk about the technical check-in. So, been in another paperwork, all that. Now you're sitting having a coffee. You're definitely not sitting and having a beer, are you, Nico? So, the time required for a technical check-in. This is a good comment from Vincent. Early check-in with Croatia yachting by 1 o'clock. Very professional. Good to hear. Very good to hear. The time required for this process for the technical check-in can be anywhere from 15 minutes, red flag, very red, very flag, to an hour. Okay, she's put an hour on here. It could be an hour and a half. If you rent a boat like ours, it's got so many switches and bits and pieces and all that, the technical check-in takes like 90 minutes. If like the good technicians do it and they explain it properly and you ask questions in order to actually understand how the boat works. So yeah, 15 minutes to an hour and a half. Shane, I'll have a look at that. Thanks, guys. No worries, Shane. Thank you for understanding. So that's the time required. Now, that all depends on the complexity of the yacht and the thoroughness of the technician. So what's included? During this check-in, you'll be introduced to all of the yacht's main functions, the engine operation, the thrusters if it has them, generator if it has them, air conditioning if it has them. Now, if it has generators and air conditioning, you should also be seeing main breakers for that sort of stuff. And if it's got air conditioning, then you want to know about where to bleed the system if you go proper sailing and get a little bit of heel on and get a little bit of air into the system, and then you come back and then you get an HP warning on your air conditioning units. Breathing. The HP warning is high pressure warning, meaning you've got high pressure because you've got air in your lines and it can't process it all. So you've got to bleed out that air. So that sort of stuff takes time. You've got to locate those valves, etc., etc. Toilets. You need to know where all the holding tanks are. Be very thorough about this. There's been a lot of comments come through or reviews. No, I've been reading reviews. We've been checking out new charter companies. I've been reading reviews about problems they had with charter companies and then feeling like they got ripped off because at the end of the week they got pulled up for a blocked holding tank that they don't think was the case. So the thing about holding tanks and everything is that they should all be empty, cleared out, and you should be able to check that the water flows properly in and out of the holding tank. How do you check that? Okay. Because it should be all clean, no waste left in the holding tanks, there should be no concern for the technician to open the black water valve while they're doing the check-in. Now, a good technician will know that his tanks are clean and will show you the operation of the toilet and then show you the valve, open it, you'll hear or feel the water rushing through the valve, and then they'll close it again because you've filled it with a little bit of water. So do 3, 4, 5 flushes, whatever it is, fill it with a bit of water, open that valve and make sure there's flow. Okay, so that's really important. And I saw a lot of reviews on a certain charter company. I can't remember the name of it because you know I'd spill it. There was like 4 or 5 reviews. This is out of 500 or whatever, but this is important. 4 or 5 reviews saying we got charged for a blocked tank where we didn't do it. Now, likeliness is maybe 2 out of those 5 they did do it and they didn't know they did it. But this is a very important thing. Check this stuff so that you don't have to. You should also be able to point out, technicians should go through all of the safety equipment. This is first aid, bolt cutters, axe, day shapes for sailing, anchor drogue, spare anchor, life jackets, chart equipment, charts, everything should be gone through so that you can check it off your list and make sure it's there. And a good technician will go through with the list, ticking it as they show you. That's all of that. The galley, check that. Okay, this is actually really important. Check that your gas and your stove is working. All right, the LPG, so the cooking gas. I've had a lot of people go, oh, well, actually, when we went out, the stove didn't work. Now, Again, half of those people didn't pay attention, didn't know how to turn on the bottle and the valves properly, or both of them at once, and they would use an error. And another half of them, okay, there was actually something wrong, or there was a blockage, or some things weren't set right. So do this. Run the burners on the stove. Ask them to show you how to light the oven. And then we have to make sure there's gas flow. That's good. Then learn how to turn it off. That also makes sure that you've got a fresh bottle connected. Check your gas bottles. You should, in standard work, you should have 2 gas bottles on your check-in for your charter. So two gas bottles. What else am I going on with there? Gas bottles. And please make sure the gas bottles are stowed somewhere smart. Should be in a ventilated locker, and it should not be rolling around when you're sailing. It's a gas bottle. On that note, if you've got an outboard engine ordered, depending on the package from the charter company, and depending if that outboard engine has its own captive tank, which most of the small charters of 2.5 horsepower or 5 horsepower do these days, that should be full. Okay, it should come fully loaded, and you often have an extra 5-litre container that is stashed in the boat for refilling that. Because if you go 30 minutes on a 2.5 horsepower outboard, you're going to run out of fuel. So you need to have that little bit extra. So that should be included. Find out if that is included, and if it's not, then get a jerry. Ask for a jerry can that you can fill up, but make sure that's there. And the point with that was make sure it's in a ventilated locker as well. That's not somewhere stupid that some brand new technician's just going, oh yeah, I'll just put that in the cabin. Obviously, they're not going to put it in the cabin. And if they put it in one of the lazarettes that doesn't vent properly out, then you want to put it in the garages. Make sure it's not somewhere that's going to vent through to the cabin. That's really, really annoying. Couple of comments coming through. Graham said a previous guest may have hidden something they broke too. Exactly, okay? You'll see it on checkout. When you do your checkout, the technician goes through as much as they can. They're always in a rush. Excuse me. But cupboards could be broken or something like. I like the charter company that runs. I like MK when Stanko goes through Mila Felice at the end. They check all of the cupboards. They'll open every single cupboard and make sure the hinges are still working and all that before a charter. I like that. But yeah, something could be hidden that they didn't see. Love Rose says, funny story, my charter company had brand new boats come in and the electrical panel was reading waste tanks were 50% full. Oh, yeah. Actually, and on that lines, and this was actually on Mila Felice, I had a client that we rented Mila Felice last year, and on check-in, C-Zone was telling him that water tank was basically out of water. And the young guy that was filling in the technician that day says, oh, no, it's fine. They're definitely full. And he actually went back to the office to check that someone had filled the tanks and then came back and says, yeah, they're definitely full. The gauge must be broken. Okay, sounds plausible. We've asked, whatever like that. If that was the case, just put the hose in and check it out, because they went out and no, it wasn't full. It was almost empty and they ran out of the first night. So yeah, gauges can be broken and that. I do not like outboard engines. I do not like outboard engines. Okay. Lego War Productions does not like outboard engines. You can never just trust those at gauges anyway, can you? 100%. Okay, so what else have we got in this check-in? We talked about holding tanks and all of that. Sales. Okay, was that what you were whispering to me? Woman without a microphone. You said nothing. That's right. That's right. Sales. Okay, this is a sticking point with me. And if you are, who was it? It was Wallace, wasn't it? It was Wallace and Shani. If you are Wallace, then you'll know that I pushed for this. So the sales inspection. A lot of charter companies these days are now just saying, yes, we checked the sales and they're all good. And they're not encouraging to pull the sales out. Now, it used to be industry standard that the technician would actively say, we're going to look at the sales now. We're going to check the sales with you. And if the person was like, oh, really? They'd be like, yes, absolutely. It's not, do you want to check the sales? It's not, the sales are fine. It was, let's pull the sales out. It's just it's good practice. One, making sure the furling systems or whatever systems are running properly. Two, you get to see the actual interrupt this broadcast because we have a super chat from Nico, and he's just paid €10 to put a mic on Anna. Oh, you can't say no to that, can you?
Thank you.
Nico knows the way to Mrs. Anna's heart. Now you're just going to hear her cackle away for the next 10 minutes. Brilliant. So yes, welcome to the stream, Anna. Should I get a camera? No, go jump at a lake. You're on a microphone now. Okay, so now she's going to butt in all the time. It's going to be excellent, but you'll hear what I deal with. I know, all right, Graham. So now Nico smoked my flow on that with sales. So I'm a huge advocate for double checking the flag. Oh, I just got a like. Yeah, please, guys, hit that like button. Go on. I got 25 people watching. I want to see that up to 25, like right now. Please, if you're liking it. I will definitely regret this. And so will Nico. So I definitely want to see the sales come out. Now, there is a very common situation where the technician says, no, it's too windy to pull the sails out. There is merit in this sometimes, okay? Now, it is not just down to the strength of the wind, but the direction in which it's coming from. So if you're in somewhere like Marina Baltic, okay, and you're on any of those piers that are facing almost north-south, if you've got the north wind in the afternoon and you're bow into that wind, or even if it's just off to the side, you can pull those sails out in 25 knots. I don't think you want to have them out for a long time, but you can do it. Okay, so you can certainly pull it out in 15 knots, which is what generally that afternoon sea breeze in the marina is. You can pull them out because you're head to wind like that. If you have, if you are on the opposite side and you're facing away from it, you can pull out your jib or your genoa. It's going to get a bit of power in it, but it's also pulling you away from the dock, so it's not an issue. And you very likely can't pull up your main. Pulling up the main or pulling out the main would be a stupid thing to do because of the angle of the wind. So just take yourself through that notion when they say that and go, hold up, won't we be head to wind on that genoa? So that's absolutely fine. Like, stand up for yourselves and go, I want to check these sails. Because this, even if you don't get to check them, this does you a service. Because if you insist to check the sails and they say, no, we've checked them, look, they're 100% fine, and you re-insist, then you get a note put down that if there's any defects on those sails, you did not see them. Okay? So it's all kind of important. And then they'll know that, hey, now there's a problem here. Well, you didn't let me check them when I went out. Contrary to that, not contrary to that, in addition to that, when you go out and you first put out your sails, do a proper look on them. And if there's anything wrong with them, well, you're actually going to take photos of their condition or a video of the condition anyway. Check the sail bag, check the lines, check all the crap. And if there's anything wrong with them, you send it directly to the technician or to the charter company. Say, hey, this was here. Okay, so that's a big deal because those sails are, I mean, look, sails get old, sails get ruined, sails get ragged. And look, I'm going to really rag on some technicians here. A lot of technicians, they're not sailors. Okay, a lot of these technicians on some charter companies, especially the big ones that are going through stuff like crazy, they're like first year technicians. They've been taught about the stuff for the check-in and a little bit about the boat, and they've put the sails on maybe once themselves. They don't necessarily know how to sail or skipper. Not necessarily. I'm not saying they don't. I know a lot of technicians that are great sailors and a lot of technicians that are very, very knowledgeable. And I've met a lot of technicians that I've taught them more about their boat during my check-in with them than they've ever known. So it's not really a fair thing comparison, but you get what I'm trying to say. What do you think, Mrs. Anna?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Giving me a microphone.
Got a microphone. Ready? Let's go.
Where does the family go while you're fluffing around doing all this?
Oh, trust you to bring that up. No,
yep.
Very good. Very good.
You think of the person, the main person. What about everyone else?
What about everyone else? I love that. Are we getting Anna's sound? Are you hearing Anna? Double check that, please. And sorry, I'm just going to address Lovro's thing. Check the U-bolts on blocks too. A lot of them surprisingly loose. 100%. U-bolts or D-shackles. Okay, I've had them pop off before. So yes, check those. Go around. Look, and you can do that in your own time. Go around with a set of pliers, tighten them up. Goodbye comment. So what does the family do? This is what Anna said. What does the family do while you're doing that? Or what does the crew do while you're doing that? This is a really good point. Now, if you are wanting to really do this check-in properly and make sure of everything, one, we haven't talked about doing the walk around video. Okay, so we're going to talk about that soon. And two, if you want to do this properly and do the walk around video and all this sort of stuff, if you've got all the people coming onto the boat trying to unpack stuff, it's not going to work. One, the technician has to work around you guys and he should have said, no, don't do it. And two, you'll do a video walk around and now there's no coming back from that. If there's a scratch on that door in that cabin, there's already a bag on the bed. You can't say that you didn't do it on the way through the door. Okay, so our advice is this, and most charter companies should be telling you this anyway, is you don't load your gear on and you don't, and maybe the skipper and one other person, they often say, hey, you can have one more person with you because it's good to have, you've often got someone who's going to want to hear all this stuff as well. And it's good to have them hear it. Skipper and one other person come on and do the check-in. What do those people do while that's happening? Because the check-in could be up to an hour. Okay. So,
well, when would you advise the family to come or the other people to come?
Yeah, so that and that's part of what I said is like I would show up at 2 o'clock and I wouldn't have everyone there. Yep. So if you've got a check-in time, so say you've all showed up at the marina at 12 o'clock or whatever it is, no matter what I tell you, you'll show up at 11 and go, can we get on the boat now? Because you're excited and I get it. Then they say, okay, your check-in time is 3:30. Okay, your technical check-in is at 3:30. So you get told that. So that means I would tell my crew to go shopping and do the thing and come back at 4:30. Maybe they can come back at 4 and sit at the cafe if they want, but either they're going to go up and sit at the cafe and mind the luggage, or they're going to go and do the provisioning, go and sit in the bar. I don't really care. They're not on the boat, but think about this as part of your process, okay? Nico said, Graham, yes, agreed. Co-skipper, yes, and other 4 people is too many. It's nice to have one helper you can have and check in. And Nico said, good point, crew on board for the check-in or not? My answer, it depends. Yeah, and that's it. That's it. If it's the 3 of you going out, okay, and there's 3 people going out on the boat and you're all going out to learn and get it stuck into this boat, then I would be insisting that those 3 people are there, but just stay back a bit out of the way. Mardosh said, at tech check-in, I got a guy who didn't know much about the yacht and refused to fill out and sign the checklist saying I shouldn't worry. I kindly asked for a new guy. We found and fixed a couple of things. Nice, good. I love you sticking to your guns on that. And Vincent says arrange for your parking too. That's good call. Anna.
So then, what if you've got a skipper?
Oh, good call. What if you have a skipper?
What's your responsibility? What's their responsibility?
Okay. There is a few versions of that. So let's just go with, let's leave a crude charter out of this. Okay, so if you book a boat that's on a crude charter, skipper and hostess, and then they work on that boat, let's leave that out of this because you don't really do a technical. You certainly don't do a technical check-in with them. You do a check-in. So let's leave that out of this. You've booked a boat, you hired the boat, and you've hired a skipper. So now you've got a skipper on board. Your responsibility is this. That skipper is responsible for the technical check-in. Okay, this technical check-in is done with that skipper. I think you as the person booking the boat should also be there. It's just good knowledge for you to have. You get to listen and see, what your skipper's like, but understand what's going on. And then you get to check for damages because you're going to look for damages different to the skipper who works a different boat every week and sees damaged boats or sees scratches here and there and all that sort of stuff. Also, the equipment on board might be more important to you. So if you've ordered 2 extra gas bottles because you're 2 weeks and you've ordered coffee machine and coffee pods and snorkeling equipment and crap like that, that stuff is more in your mind and you've got the paperwork for that as opposed to the skipper who's just arrived and said, right, you're on boat 7 and hey, here's a list of stuff that they should have. So in another sense, you're helping yourself out there. So your responsibility, you're still going to be signing, you're still signing for the boat. You've gone and done the contract, you're signing for the boat. So you can't get away from that. The skipper's not signing for the boat. The skipper will sign the technical check-in to say, yes, the equipment's there and, it's in working condition, but you're putting your credit card down on the boat. Panos said, and we do need to come with this as well, but we'll come back to it in a sec. What's your view on the underwater hull rudder inspection and check-in? We've got to talk about that. It's another whole topic. What did we just come off? I feel like I got sidetracked.
You did. Skipper, you're responsible. You've got to sign the paperwork.
Oh no, so I did finish that.
Yep,
okay, I did finish that. Yeah. Cool. Okay, yeah. So that's responsibility of that.
It up,
yeah.
Blah blah.
I rounded it up. Okay, so Mrs. Anna, what's next for you?
I'll answer that one.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the underwater check-in because that is a big thing. My view on the hull rudder inspection at check-in. There is no way to do this. This is basically this and the condition of the mast is the things that you cannot really deal with on the day at check-in because you're not allowed to go in the water, and you have to trust at that moment that they say there's nothing wrong with the underwater, meaning the prop is free and clear and not chipped. The rudder and the keel and all this, they if there's any damage on them, they know about it and they've got photos of it. That is what you just have to trust because they send the diver through, and the charter company also has to trust that the diver did their job because the charter company employs the diver, but not like there's divers for the marina. So they don't have a specific diver for each charter company. The diver goes right down the pier. So that underwater check is done by that diver. So you need to trust in that. It's something you don't have a choice in. And every time I get out of the marina, on the first swim, I dive on that boat. I dive on the boat and I have a look for myself. If I come up with something on that first swim and I'm like, I don't like the look of that, I'll take my GoPro down, I will snap a photo of it, I'll take a bit of video, whatever it is, and I will send that to the charter company straight away and say, hey, I found this on our first trip out. They can see that you've left the marina on the tracking and you've gone to there. Okay, if they want to argue that you hit something on the way there, then that's pretty tough if you didn't go through a stupid part of the sea. If you go through a really shallow spot on your way to that thing, then they can say, hey, we might have done that. Yeah, so that's kind of that's where that one at. Lovdo said as well, done by pro diver, it's not really allowed to dive. It's not allowed to dive in the marina. If you drop something in the marina, you're not allowed to dive down and get it yourself. I know a number of people that have, but you're not allowed. The way it's written and the law, you're not allowed in that water. You must pay a diver to go and do whatever it needs to be done. Rowan's online. Hey, Rowan. Always try to dive under the hull. Yeah, and do the water part myself, obviously, not in the marina afterwards. You also don't want to be in the water in the marina. Lovro says that last year had a crazy situation where a client was diving under the boat. He surfaced behind the stern and another boat crashed into the boat he was diving under. Client was almost squashed. Yeah, that's horrible. On that note, I got clocked in the head last year out in the water in a bay. So we were in a bay just off Chiovo, and there was a whole bunch of boats anchored. And I was not the furthest boat out anchored. I dove off the back because I just finished working or doing something like that. And I went for a swim and I dove straight down. I dove down the bottom and I came up within within 2 meters. I don't want to exaggerate. So within 2 meters of the hull of the boat, the stern of the boat, right where I jumped in. And just before I hit the surface, I got smacked in the head by a foiling surfboard. Like saw stars smacked in the head. Yeah, and this dude was cruising through the anchorage at speed on a falling surfboard and just clocked me. And I thought about this, because there's a lot of people around. I came up like a diver with my hand in the air, and maybe that's what saved my life. But he clocked me in the head, and it was bad. And I made him feel really, really bad and got to go on his surfboard. But really, I should have got his phone number and everything like that in case I got a concussion. JP's online. GR Sailing and Left Cast Greece attached a dated underwater photo to the info email when we checked in, which was great. That is great. That is brilliant, actually. I like that. Because I've asked for the photos before as well, and they've said to me, we don't take photos unless something's wrong. And it's like, well, that's useless, isn't it? So yeah, that's the underwater section. Cool. Anna, anything else on that? Or we should go into our pro tips.
Pro tip.
Pro tips? All right. What's the time? How much time have I got? It's 9:45. I've got to call at 10, don't I?
Yes.
So we've got a shelf life on this. 15 minutes left.
The 2 main ones at the bottom.
All right. I'm loving the interaction. Like we've got 30 people watching. That's really cool. Please, if you've just arrived, hit the like button. If you're enjoying this, remember, share this with anyone that might want this, that's chartering this year, whether it's in Greece, Turkey, whatever like that. Share this if you think it would be helpful. Okay, pro tips for a smooth check-in.
The last 2, we've covered everything.
We've covered all those things, blah, 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 blah. If something feels off or doesn't match, this is Anna's words now. Do you want to read it? Can you read it for me? No, Anna, read it. Nico paid for you to read it.
If something feels off and doesn't match your expectations, don't hesitate to confirm it with your booking agent or with Nick, because that's what you paid him for.
If you've paid Nick.
Read it,
If you've paid Nick.
Avoid accepting vague explanations like that's normal in Croatia without proper verification.
Yeah, that sounded like you wrote it. Yeah, like that. It's just 100% true. Okay, trust your gut. You're not stupid. You're renting a boat. You know something about this. If it doesn't feel right, then ask the questions. That's normal in Croatia. Does not fly with me. Why does it feel like the rudder's hitting something? That's normal in Croatia. Right, but it might not be that. It might be the battery levels.
What's the last one? Remember down at where we don't go anymore? There was so many little
oh
things
my gosh, with Graham's here, he knows. It felt wrong, so I just kept hammering them. But there was another thing. We looked up at the mast, and I said, how's that? And above the top spreader was just this clump of material wrapped around the stay at the top spreader. Not like on the spreader to something that would prevent chafing for the mainsail on there or anything. Like it was very random. And I said to the check-in guy, I was like, what's that? He says, I don't know. I said, well, how long's it been there? He says, oh, I think at least 6 weeks. Why? I don't know. Is this not a red flag to you? That's the mast and the stays, by the way. What the, you know? So I said, well, get someone to take it off. Oh no, I think it's supposed to be there. Oh, now the story changes. So no, go get your other technician. Cool, go in and got him. Oh no, it's okay. No, it's not. Get someone up there and take it down. Oh no, we can't do that. Go get the base manager. And I went and got the base manager. I said, Evo, do you know what that is? No. Do you know what? It's like, yeah, we should get that down. All right. And it was just like, what the hell? Yeah, Graham said, Tex says, don't worry about it. It's been there all year. Why has it been there all year? Oh my God. Anyway, something doesn't feel right, deal with it. On that same boat, I went to pull out the power cable because this is something I check. It's like, not just that the power works, but I'm going to be able to do the operations that I want to do when I leave or arrive somewhere. And I don't like my power cable sitting anywhere apart from coiled beautifully in a locker out of the way when I'm off the dock. So I went to pull it out and it wouldn't come out. It was trying to rip the socket out of the boat. I said to him, hey, why doesn't this come out? He goes, and so, but the technician reacted. I was very happy about it. It shouldn't be like that. And it had shorted out and melted itself to the thing. So I said, fix it. And he did. And it took him an hour to fix that. So, but they got it fixed because that's a necessary thing. So if something feels off, make sure you get an explanation. Okay. And if it's still like, oh, no, it's okay or whatever, if they convince you that, have it noted on your check-in. This has nothing to do with you. And if you have an issue because of it, that's going to come back on them.
So that's
all
the
right.
last one.
That's the last one, which is record any important information. Okay. Or instructions by the technician that just don't feel right. You're protecting yourself in case of disputes at checkout, because all of this is never really a problem at check-in. And there is like, for one, it's exciting. You're on holiday. You've just gotten on your holiday. You've worked really hard, getting all the crap and organizing all the people and paying all the money, getting down here to do the check-in, and you want to go sailing. You've got a plan to leave on Saturday night. You've got to get out there. You want to go. I get it. So you've got to just slow down and make sure that you go over the details you're going to need. Okay. Another one of my tips. No, it's going to come next. It's going to come next. Do all that and make sure you record down what they say. And if this person says something, this was one from last year or the year before, was about the black water tanks. So the client queried, he's like, hold up, this doesn't sound right. And the guy's like, no, it was blocked at blah, blah, blah. And the technician went on about something, which they retracted later. The guy that was chartering through us recorded the whole thing because that's what we told him to do. So they retracted it, and then I played them back the recording and said, you've gone up. So if it doesn't feel right, do that. Now, the last thing I was about to say, which I've now forgotten.
Oh.
Shoot, it was good. It'll come back to me. There's some good comments around here. Oh yeah, Graham says the radar reflector fell off and hit one of my guests, so maybe the rag was holding that on. Maybe. And I think that same week I had a radar reflector fall off as well. I don't, like, it's not good. That one's a bit tougher. Like, they put them on with cable ties or whatever, and then they get sun hardened and corroded, and then they fall off. It's not healthy. I think they should also be tied on with a safety line so that if they do that, they don't hit someone. But yeah, I had one fall off that week as well. Don't mess around with the rigging. Imagine something snapping up there. Could kill someone that loads on these. Yeah, no. We always make sure to check the anchor windlass is properly tightened. With the winch handle, after our first ever charter boat, chain kept slipping and we anchored out. Yeah, no idea why, but easy fix. That's a really good point. So if you've viewed your windlass or the anchor windlass, it often has a hole on the top, which is shaped like a winch handle hex thingy. That is designed for, that's the tension of the brake. So if you needed to let the anchor go free, or you wanted to set it to relay itself out, if you're single-handed, you might drop it to the ground and then set it to a really light brake so it lays out as you reverse. You can adjust that brake. Now, if someone on the previous week to you has been using the anchor like that, which is not using it wrong, that's absolutely fine, and then you go onto the boat and it's not tightened, then that could mean your anchor is going to slip after it's down. Another thing, if you set a snubber as well is a good idea, but that's not the point of that. The technician won't check that necessarily. They don't even necessarily know how that works. So yeah, that's a really good call. Thank you, JP, is check that tension on the anchor windlass, which is a good point. And yeah, we didn't mention that, but that's one of the operations of the boat. You should always be going up, checking that the anchor windlass works. Find out if it only works when the engine's on or if it does work all the time, whatever. What was that thing I was going to say? It's really important.
You got 9 minutes.
New thing when we went out in Yarnina with Wallace, let the engine run for a good while before we decided to cast off. Buttons on the engine control were broken and the engine would randomly stop start. I'd never seen that before. That's full on. So say they had just gone, it was just going to cut out. It was a very random occurrence. I'm not sure how it happened, but it was a panel malfunction. They had a spare panel in stock. They came, they switched it out inside of 20 minutes and it was done. But yeah, that's a good point. And keep that running because that's going to show that you've got good engine flow, that it's not going to overheat on you. You've still got fuel, all of this sort of stuff. Yeah, so I'd have my engine running well before I start even preparing to lift my swim platform and the plank and all that. So you're going to have 10 minutes of engine running at least before you take off.
But it's also good to see that because that was on Yarnina. So
that's
with that's our number one
charter
company. So things can go wrong. There's nothing wrong with things going wrong.
That's it. And
what you're doing your check-in for.
Yeah, and it's all down to how the charter company reacts to it. Like I've sailed that boat. I've sailed it a lot. Never had that issue. I've probably done 6 weeks sailing on that boat. We've used it for every one of our flotillas. And yet, on this one, that's what happened. Yeah. How did the charter company react? Did they blame you? Did they say you've done something wrong? First of all, they had to believe what Wallace and Nico were saying because it's like, well, it's not doing it right now or whatever. So I was really happy that they did. They believed them. I hope they would believe everyone, not just people that are our clients, but hey, book through us and it's not an issue. But yeah, that's a huge thing. Friendly neighbor with a smaller boat helped us. A similar boat helped us out. That's great. Good to hear the community work. That's right. Oh yeah, I don't have to repeat it. You've got a microphone on. Thank you, Nico. Good thing to check. I wouldn't have, but now that you ask, I will. Yes, the rubber buttons had to rip. Oh, I had a rip in it and the contacts were bad. Yeah, so must have just gotten torn, gotten some salt water or water in there, and it's, yeah, badly corroded. Good call. Check under the mattresses. A boat from Noah. Aft bed frames were broken and horribly uncomfortable. That's right. Oh, man, we don't use them anymore. They're gone. They're out. They're finished.
And they've blocked us. Sorry.
MK reacted like champs and fixed it within the hour. Yeah. So look, that was all really good. Shoot, what was the thing I was going to say? Return time, refueling, record important information. Well, top tips is also about the video. About the video walkthrough. We talked about that.
The video's here.
All right, I got like 5 minutes left. So
we do check out next time because we need to look at checkout properly.
Yeah. So look, we've only covered check-in. So for our next one in 2 weeks' time, we'll finish this and we'll do the checkout process. And might tack on some question answer and all sorts of time because we will have time there. Lovdo. It was Ezra to 4460 GL, which I had actually sailed. I'd sailed it. I'd even done a video on it. I did some training on it and it was pretty good. But it was no longer pretty good. They just hadn't kept up the maintenance and it was wasted. And that's funny because I went and saw the boat pre-season. Okay, I went and saw it. Graham was looking at booking this boat and Graham had some questions about the mattresses and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, let's go and check. I went and talked to Noah. I got on the boat. I had a look at the condition of the boat. Okay, pretty good. I went and saw them because Graham was asking about the mattresses. I went and saw the mattresses in storage and I was like, right, they're thick mattresses. That's what he was asking about. So I went and saw them. I don't know why I did this all for him. I'm not going to tell people this because otherwise they'll think I'll do it for every boat. And then through the season, that thing just got thrashed and they just didn't keep it up. Didn't keep it up at all. Maybe it'd be easy to say what was working in much shorter list. The freshwater pump. Yeah. So it's really annoying me that I've forgotten that thing. Check out. Be the last charter of the season. Give the tech a beer and collect a signature. Yeah, totally good call on that one. Totally good call. Oh man, that's really frustrating me.
Okay, well,
anyway,
we've got 4 minutes.
It's all good. So look, thank you everyone for watching. I think that's great. We've still got 30 people watching and I've only got 17 likes. Please, can I hit 25 likes on this video in the next 30 seconds? That would be really cool. We will cover checkout 2 weeks from now at 9 o'clock on Tuesday, of whatever month that is. I hope this was helpful. I felt like I wasn't going to be able to answer questions very well because I've been traveling all day. Just been in Barcelona for 2 days sailing on the Moody 54 DS. If you saw a couple of my shorts, you'll know about that. I will be posting a walkthrough. I did a quick walkthrough commentary on deck and under as well of that boat. So so that'll be coming out. It's going to be just a raw. I just got to get it out because I've got too much work to do. We have inquiries flying in at the moment. I love it. It's great, and we're going to get to people. Yes, we're going to do our draw. I think it's this Friday.
Okay. Cool.
It's this Friday. So this Friday, if you've chartered with us this season and you were in before the 31st of January 2025 for a 2025 charter, we will be drawing out our winner on Friday live right here. And I'll be stressed to the friggin' max and all that sort of stuff, trying to push all my buttons and make it all work. 23 likes, two more, please hit that like button. Or what am I supposed to say? Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Give me crap in the comments. Thank you, Diego. Thanks for being here. That's great. Thanks for the stream and a live on broadcast next week. Ooh. Yeah, Graham says, great idea. Graham, we should set up a petition. Do it. We're going to put a vote. We're going to put the next vote onto the community thing. Is can we get, what is it? Can we get 10 super likes to get Anna on the stream next Tuesday? I'm just going to make money out of you.
Or you do anyway.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Graham said, I asked Nick to check the mattresses as they were destroyed back from the military. So 2 weeks at a bad mattress can really impact your trip. Yeah, fair call, man. Fair call. All right. Graham would sign it. I love it. Okay. Mine is just cracking up. Is baby asleep? I assume she is. Anyway. Okay. That's it. I'm going to run the cutscene. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next week. No, you're going to see them on Friday. Yay! Thanks for Anna. Thank you. Blah, 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 blah.